to the NFL here in a matchup between the legendary Drew Brees and
Brees. And when he wants to push that ball downfield, driving on it, and you see Brees shows that's a terrible decision.
And that leads to Brady taking it in himself, and the Bucs have a third on the day. Tom Brady would account for 3 touchdowns, and in his first season in Tampa, Tom Brady has the Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game where he will meet Aaron Rodgers. This will be the 7th playoff matchup between quarterbacks with multiple MVPs entering the game. Brady versus Peyton, the only other one we've seen in the last 15 years. You see some of the matchups that we have seen in the past. And so just as we sort of have our first look ahead to what will be one of the most hyped games we could ever possibly imagine. Green Bay and Tampa Bay played week 6. Tampa Bay beat them 38-10. Aaron Rodgers has thrown only 5 interceptions the whole year. He threw 2 in that game. So, Rex, why should we think this is going to be different?
Well, I think it's going to be different because Green Bay's defense is playing a heck of a lot better right now than they did during that time. And Devontae Adams was coming off an injury, been out for a couple of weeks, and that offense just looked out of sync. They really did. Now, I get where you're coming from. As dominant as Tampa's defense looked, I mean, Todd Bowles is going to do this with the game plan. Blow the dust off it. All right, boys, this is what we're going to run again, because it looked like they could have stayed out there for a week and Green Bay done nothing in that game. So I don't expect a whole lot of changes from Todd Bowles and company this week. But I think Green Bay, they are playing at such a high level right now. I think it's the game's definitely going to be different than it was the last.
Both these teams are. How is it different, Dan Orlovsky? How is that game different from what this one is going to be?
Well, Rodgers isn't going to turn the ball over like that. Second of all, Matt LaFleur is going to study that tape and go, okay, what were we not good at? You know, that was really when their pre-snap or at the snap motion was rolling, and Tampa Bay was the first team to kind of counter it where they blitzed off the motion. So he's going to have answers for that. I promise you he will have a much better plan for their blitz package, because they didn't really have a good plan for the blitz package when they met in week 6. I'd expect a lot of perimeter screens versus it for Green Bay's offense. And I think these teams are very different than they were 2.5, 3 months ago, where conceptually, schematically, personnel-wise, this will be a fantastic football game. And also, this game's in Green Bay. It's not in Tampa Bay. That is a huge factor for Tampa Bay's offense and their success.
Yeah, they haven't played a real cold weather game. At Washington a couple of weeks ago, but they haven't played a real cold weather game in a while. So, RC, we come to you. You have played against Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl. You have played against Tom Brady in championship games. Give us your sense of these two legends going head-to-head on Sunday.
I mean, this is my favorite matchup of the weekend, and obviously there's only 2, but I know a lot of people are interested in the young guns on the other side. These are the 2 best quarterbacks I ever faced during my career, and it was for different reasons. Tom was always ahead. Tom always understood where the blitz was coming, where the open man would be. But when you play a guy like Aaron Rodgers, none of that stuff matters. And I remember watching Aaron Rodgers in 2010, 2011, 14, and thinking to myself, he could never play better than this. I've never seen a quarterback more efficient, more comfortable, until I watched Aaron Rodgers play this year. He is in full control of this offense right now. And it seemed that early on in the season, he thought, and he believed that this team could be good. But now he knows. Now he knows what Allen Lazard brings to the team. Now he knows what Robert Tonyan can be. We finally saw a 3-headed monster at running back last week or this week against the Los Angeles Rams. This is a different team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a different team. But these are 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time playing at the biggest moment of this season. And we have to cherish this. We have to relish this. And the one thing that's different about this week than last week against the Saints is that number 12 from the Green Bay Packers still has it. And he has it in bunches. And it's going to be fun to watch these 2 legends battle.
Go ahead, Dan.
I just think the stress that Green Bay's offense is going to be very different than what they gave them in week 6 as well. Like, this is an offense that is going to stress them defensively, Tampa, way more than New Orleans did. I mean, the ability to push the ball downfield with Allen Lazard. We saw it against Green Bay. Rodgers' ability to get outside the pocket and move. Remember, like, that's not something that Drew's able to do. You got to cover the tight ends. And this is going to be a physical run game. This is a run game that has really developed both physically and also scheme-wise to get the ball to perimeter. So, this is a team in Green Bay that has really learned a lot about itself over the past 2.5 months. And again, this is going to be a remarkable football game by both talent-wise and the coaching.
Coincidentally, but at least interestingly to me, both games this weekend are rematches of games that were played the same weekend. Week 6,
Yeah.
on Sunday, the Buccaneers blew out the Packers, and then on Monday, in one of the rescheduled games, Kansas City beat Buffalo. So we will see all these weeks later, these two teams going head-to-head again. All right, let's go on the clock with a bunch of things we haven't had a chance to get to here. Let's start, Rex, with you, and let's talk about the Cleveland Browns, who obviously had a remarkable season. But what is the one thing they need to do this offseason if they want to make it farther next year? 30 seconds go.
They got to focus on their defense. They got to improve. They got to improve schematically. As much as their offense improved schematically, they got to do the same thing defense. Take a hard look at what you're doing. Now, look, you've got tremendous players. You got Denzel Ward. You got the best defensive end in football in Myles Garrett. You have Sheldon Richardson. You have all these good players. We may add one or two players, but schematically is where this team can improve.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, they put together a really good year, and we'll talk about some of the improvements they've made. Dan Orlovsky, next up is you. We are waiting to see the situation on Patrick Mahomes, and it will be several days before we know for sure whether or not he can play this weekend. So my question is, if he doesn't play, can Kansas City win? 30 seconds, go.
No. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't play, Kansas City can't win. This is a remarkable team. They got great coaching. They're playing against a team that is just as good. They're just as explosive. They're just as well coached in the Buffalo Bills. And to ask this football team to somehow, over the course of 60 minutes, shut down Josh Allen and shut down Stephon Diggs and shut down Cole Beasley and playing against this defense in Buffalo that's playing really good without the best player in football is too much to ask. I expect Patrick Mahomes to play, but if he doesn't, Buffalo goes to the Super Bowl.
Okay, fair enough. I think it's almost impossible to disagree with that, with as well as the Bills have been playing. All right, RC, here's one no one is expecting. My question to you is Kendrick Perkins' son going to be a better NBA player than his father? Go.
No disrespect to Big Perk right now. His son is a better offensive player right now. I'm pretty sure the three-pointer that Kendrick put on his IG is a three-pointer that he has never hit. There was a block, and then he goes down and he makes plays. This dude he's already his father's size right now, and he has better hair. This dude is a flat-out baller. Let me tell you what, if I'm at the AAU tournament and this kid walks out on the floor against my kid, the first thing I'm screaming, I'm becoming that parent. Where's his birth certificate? And y'all know Big Perk is going to be disgruntled about having to go find it, but I'm going to make him find it. You are not going to be out there embarrassing children that way. Right now, Big Perk, his son, one-on-one, I'm putting all my money on his son. Let's go, Junior.
Carry on.
I'm completely.
Oh, my goodness.
That was Kendrick Perkins' son. We'll get Big Perk in here this week as we continue. Meanwhile, this is important. Deshaun Watson wants out. Which team can put together the right deal? You've got the answers to that question next. Get up on ESPN.